Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are the best, worst Pokemon games I have ever played. Through all the ridiculous glitches and terrible game performance, there have been some truly wonderful moments to come out of playing this game so far. And if you know me at all, you know those moments probably include a lot of shiny Pokemon. This video is the story of the best moments I've had in my 100 plus hours of playing Pokemon Violet as a shiny hunter. I want to preface this by saying I have not even beaten the game yet, so there won't be any major story spoilers in this video. Because, I probably haven't even seen them myself yet. By the end of this video, you'll know my full feelings on the game, and more importantly, see all the insane shiny Pokemon I've run into along the way. Naturally, I began my journey with the starter I've been excited about for months now, the Grass Cat Sprigatito. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of all of these starters, and I think they're all really unique and likable, so big respects to the Quaxly and Fuecoco gang out there. I see you guys. Sprigatito is still better though. Anyway, after going through the classic early game Pokemon motions, I was finally set out into the first wild area of the game. And of course, the first thing on my mind is, all right, time to find a shiny Pokemon. The cool thing about this game is you can actually see if a Pokemon is shiny in the overworld, but the catch is there won't be any shiny stars or audible noise until you actually battle it. This pretty much means you need to keep your eyes glued to the environment around you if you don't want to miss a random 1 in 4096 or full odds shiny Pokemon. Guess those shiny Pokemon quizzes will actually come in handy now, huh? So I hopped into a Discord with some friends and we ventured out together, wondering if any of us would stumble upon a lucky shiny Pokemon within the next few days and... Oh, not 30 seconds into the wild area, my friend, Mimic, runs into her first full odds Gen 9 shiny Pokemon, Tarantula. We could not believe it. So yeah, after seeing that, I sprinted to the first Pokemart I saw and copped a few Premier Balls, just in case. And I was pretty on edge at this point, thinking every other thing I saw was a shiny, and the lighting in this game really does not help. I hatched this Fido, and does this not look shiny? I nearly had a heart attack just to find out that the lighting basically completely changes how a Pokemon looks. I went into this game mostly spoiler-free, and I didn't look up any shiny hunting methods or quick ways to hunt. I just knew I wanted to jump in and find as many shinies as I could in my own way. And unfortunately, at the end of day 1, I had not found a single one. Oh, but Mimic found another one. It was day 2, and my Sprigatito Jesse evolved into his cool, older magician cat self and learned a neat little new move where he spins around and stuff. Honestly, I kinda like the standing cat. I also really wanted to shiny hunt him. More on that one later. At this point, I was exploring around like a madman and having an absolute blast seeing all the new Pokemon and ways to explore. I was also randomly running at 5 frames per second and ready to smash my monitor when my game would crash out of nowhere or become completely unplayable when surfing around the ocean or, oh, a shiny Rookidee. Wait, what was I just talking about? I don't know, this game is so fun. While my first shiny wasn't a Gen 9 shiny, it was a pretty great one. I've never had a shiny Rookidee, and the selfie features in this game were way more fun to mess around with than I expected. After evolving my Golden Bird into the Iron Squire and then the Giant Knight himself, I decided it was time to narrow my focus down to my top priority for my playthrough, finding my favorite Pokemon of all time. The ice areas in Pokemon games are usually not an easily accessible place in the early game. However, the great part about Scarlet and Violet is you can pretty much go wherever you want. So I took a huge detour from my objectives and rode my fancy motorcycle thing straight over to the icy mountains in the north with one goal: find the queen herself, Frostlass. And sure enough, not only was I able to find one fairly easily, there were also Snowrunts and big dog Bronzongs roaming around the area too. A true paradise for me and the 8 other Frostless fans that exist in the world. Oh yeah, and around this time, this random rock salt Pokemon evolved into this big Minecraft village thing, and I got attacked by like a man spider from a tree. That was kind of cool and weird. Oh, and I also realized that the whole time on the map, there have been mass outbreaks everywhere, and I never knew. Mass outbreaks are typically really useful for shiny hunting a specific Pokemon due to the fact that, there's a ton of them everywhere, and the shiny odds actually increase a bit the more you knock out in the outbreak. These are the rates for mass outbreak shiny Pokemon. Not bad, although from my experience, I found that the Pokemon you actually get in outbreaks can be pretty specific and hard to find a lot of variety, even if you skip around with your dates. Well, I ended up running around and attempted to hunt this Magnemite mass outbreak for a few hours, and lo and behold, my second shiny Pokemon, This shiny has got to be one of the drippiest shinies out there. The gold, black, white is just way too clean, and the textures in Scarlet and Violet make it look nice. By the way, did I mention the texture upgrades in these games make some older Pokemon look way better? Yeah, that applies to shinies too. You'll see what I mean when I show you what I found next. After realizing outbreaks were a thing, I took my shiny new Magnemite up to the mountains towards a Bronzong outbreak? Okay, alright. Another one of my favorite mons you guys might be very familiar with from my Forgot a Master Ball series, but this one is special. My Bronzong that I've used for so long, good old Big Dog, he was never a shiny. This outbreak could be the one chance I have to finally give him the true color he deserves. A crisp, shiny green. Oh my god, that is a lot of Bronzongs. I figured since there were so many spawns that were really easy to see, I could try resetting the spawns on top of the slope with my picnic and scan the entire area to see if I could spot a green one. But what happened next was something I was truly not ready for. A single sleeping Bronzong resting underneath a tree. And yes, that Bronzong is green. One of the single most beautiful wild shiny scenes I have seen in a Pokemon game. And it was the Big Dog himself. I was unbelievably happy to have found this shiny in such a short period of time, and after catching him I realized I had just spent an entire day roaming around this game, finding shinies, and I hadn't progressed the story at all. That is one of my favorite parts about this game. The time just disappears when you're exploring and finding shinies and having fun. So after a huge shiny goal I had ended way sooner than I expected, I checked my map to see where I needed to go next, and a Frostless outbreak? Are you kidding? Is this rare? Frostless has an outbreak in this game? Like, I don't have to endure the horrifying grind for a shiny female Snorunt? This was not on my radar at all. I mean, I'd literally just caught my first regular Frostless of the game and planned to at least use her for a while, but I mean, I guess we're detouring again. Every Pokemon game I hunt for a shiny Frostless, and my Pokemon Violet hunt goes down in the books as another insanely lucky break. I now get to play through a new open-world Pokemon game with the queen herself.
That's a crit. Give it to me!
Wow.
Speaking of that, I should probably actually start playing the game now. I'm not going to show or spoil too much of the gym battles or quirks behind them, but I will say, however, the normal gym was definitely my favorite, and Larry is truly an inspirational gym lead, the peak representation of normal. Oh, quick tip, you get the amulet coin from this dude after battling people in this area. Make sure you do your trainer battles if you want the really juicy rewards from this guy at different Poke Centers. Anyway, that's enough of that story stuff. I got addicted to shiny hunting again. And that's a blue ghost. A shiny Shuppet. A cool one I've actually always wanted, and guess what? It was marked. Marks, as far as I've seen in this game, are similar to those of Sword and Shield. Rare titles given to random overworld Pokemon, making a shiny marked Pokemon an extremely rare find, and I'm honestly not sure if I've ever gotten one before this. This Shuppet was my rarest shiny Pokemon in the game so far, and probably would be for a while. For those of you that keep up with my videos, you'll know I recently got a shiny authentic Sinistea in Sword and Shield for my final hunt of Generation 8. By the way, if you haven't seen it and like my Forgot a Master Ball series, go watch it, you'll like it a lot. But I'm bringing that up because, well, I sort of maybe found a random outbreak of Sinistea 2 in this game, and yeah, I found another shiny Sinistea in this game. This dude popped up out of nowhere, and I was not planning on hunting him at all, considering, well, I mean, I literally just found one, but this little guy, unfortunately, did not have an authentic stamp underneath him. But that's okay, he's still a cutie. Oh, and remember how I said earlier, I really wanted to shiny hunt a Sprigatito. Well, around this time, I managed to nab myself a foreign Ditto for Masuda method egg hatching, which, if you're unfamiliar, makes the shiny odds way better when breeding Pokemon from 2 different regions. And if you have a Ditto and want to exchange it for a foreign one to try the Masuda method, then link trade online with this code. I was able to swap my English Ditto for a French one, and it has a cool name, so it works. Anyway, I started breeding my Meowscarada, that name is crazy, with the foreign Ditto and piling up eggs to hatch while running around and shiny hunting, which turned out actually to be one of my favorite ways to hunt in the entire game. Hatching eggs while resetting outbreaks basically let me take on 2 shiny hunts at once, and breeding for eggs in the picnic is pretty easy, you just stand there. so there was always something for me to be hatching. Anyway, here's another shiny I got after like 6 hours of doing the same thing mindlessly over and over. Shiny Clauncher, a Pokemon I honestly can't say I have ever used, and I actually kind of like it. Also, I just wanted an excuse to tweet a picture of this shiny shrimp Pokemon next to a giant bed of rice with the caption, "So you're telling me a shrimp fried this rice?" So, follow me on Twitter. Oh hey, yeah, I ended up finding another shiny in like 30 minutes, and it was a Forretress, a Pokemon I can honestly say I have never thought much about until this game. The texture updates in Scarlet and Violet make this thing look amazing. The glowing gold, beautiful light reflections, and... Nah, I'm kidding, I saved before, I didn't fail him. I actually caught him in this luxury ball, and woo, baby, it looks nice. I, however, did fail a much more important shiny Pokemon later on in this video, and I am too embarrassed to tell you about it now, so you're gonna have to wait. You may have noticed by now that out of all of the shiny Pokemon I'd found so far, none of them have actually been new Generation 9 Pokemon. Well, I actually had quite an ambitious goal for this game. A full shiny team of only Generation 9 Pokemon before beating the game. That means no shiny charm, no super shiny sandwich boosts, just a classic full odds, Masuda methods, and outbreaks. And let's just say I got a head start on that goal right here with a shiny Flittle. When I first saw this little guy, I had no clue what the heck it even was. A frilled, floating, cute little blob. And it was shiny. Cool. But wait, what does it actually evolve into? What? I don't even know what to say about this Pokemon. A shiny, psychic ostrich with a hairdo that will outdo almost anyone. I love it. My first shiny Gen 9 Pokemon. Espathra. Espartha. Spat H. Anyway, with my newfound Gen 9 shiny, my urge to scope out all the new Pokemon and their shinies really kicked off. And the next Pokemon I found might just be one of the best named Pokemon of all time. Dondozo. When I first saw this thing under the water, I nearly had a heart attack. It is huge, and the name Dondozo is just so fun. So naturally, when I like something, I find their shiny. The giant white and gold catfish, shiny number 10. This hunt was one of the most chill hunts I'd done so far. I would just picnic on top of this cliff and listen to the calming piano and waves as they spawned in front of me every reset. Dondozo is actually a really unique Pokemon this generation and interacts really well in doubles with the specific Pokemon Tatsugiri, which is literally just a piece of sushi that jumps into Dondozo's mouth and buffs his stats, and I like him too. So the old Dondozo himself became my second Gen 9 shiny Pokemon on the team. At this point, it was day 4, and I still hadn't collected all of the badges, so yeah, I didn't go back to the main story. I'm addicted to the shine. And this Salazzle came out of nowhere. I hadn't even cleared this outbreak yet, and well, here she is, shiny number 11. Some of you guys may be thinking, Noki, you have 11 shiny Pokemon, just beat the game. Get the shiny charm, you don't need to get any more shinies right now. And you know, I completely respect that thought, but I have issues, and those issues can only be solved by more different colored Pokemon right now. Day 5, 60 hours in. It's a beautiful morning, I'm sipping my coffee, hatching some eggs as usual, and I run into a little bit of a rare outbreak. It's a Shroodle, the first evolution of Graphii, you know, the graffiti monkey thing. I hadn't seen this shiny yet, but with it being a graffiti Pokemon, I had a feeling the shiny was gonna be pretty good. So I spent that morning biking around one of the first areas of the game, checking the faces of every Shroodle I saw. I later learned that Shroodle's shiny had purple eyes, and then nearly choked when this purple flower perfectly covered the Shroodle's eyes. Man, this game really does a good job of tricking you into thinking you have a shiny Pokemon. Huh? Is that the shiny cat? Somehow I'd gotten into so much of a rhythm of hatching eggs. Everywhere I went, I forgot that I was even hunting for shiny Sprigatito in the first place. I absolutely love subtle changes in shiny Pokemon, and I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but the purple eyes on this thing are amazing, and I'm a huge fan of the different shade of green it changes to. I ended up evolving him after a while, and I just really started loving this grass dude even more. My third shiny Gen 9 Pokemon was acquired. Dolphin. There's a dolphin Pokemon. Finizen. Apparently its evolution is really broken too. But you know what's even better than that? The shiny is purple, and that's my favorite color. And it just so happened that my friend Mimic had an outbreak of these guys and invited me into her co-op world to test out if I could actually find one in her outbreak myself. She had just found a shiny of her own and basically said I was open to stay until I got one too. Well, the downside was only like 5 of them spawned. Maybe it was because I was in a co-op instance, but the number of Pokemon was way less than a normal outbreak. Even still, I kept resetting the outbreak just because, I'd never seen a Finizen outbreak before and I really wanted to try for this Gen 9 shiny. Also, I figured out you could just surf over to this little area over here and go into the city technically, come back, and then all the dolphins just respawn. It was actually really fast. And then, a few hours later, the worst possible thing happened. I'm pretty sure that was a purple dolphin that I just reset over. A shiny Finizen spawned right as I was crossing over the city line. So all I saw was the tiny purple dolphin emerge for like a split second and then just disappear right in front of my eyes. That one hurt. It hurt even worse because surfing around in this game can be really laggy, unoptimized, and slow, and I honestly did not have it in me to keep going. So this time, and only this time, a shiny Pokemon successfully escaped me. For now. Want to know another part I hate about this game, and basically every Pokemon game for that matter? You can't mass release Pokemon from your boxes. I had to sit in my box for hours and just slowly, painfully release all of my Sprigatitos I hatched, one by one. Do we not have the technology to be... This Pokemon's name is Bombardier. I hate Bombardier. Its shiny is actually really cool, and the Pokemon's not bad itself, but I have spent 10 to 20 hours of my life, like 1/10 to 1/5 of my entire time playing this game so far, trying to shiny hunt this thing. Nothing. And spoiler alert, I don't get one this video. I probably won't ever get one because Bombardier hates me. And I hate it. Stupid bird. By the way, did you guys know you can make sandwiches to increase the encounter rates of certain types of Pokemon? Like, for example, here, I ate a sandwich with a bug encounter up, and I guess Snom is the only bug type that spawns here because there are so many of them. I actually wasn't even sure if other Pokemon could even spawn until, I got a visitor. A gray Citadel. I hadn't seen many Citadels before, but for some reason I felt like he was looking at me funny. Were Citadels always gray? I could have sworn they were white. Wait, they are white. That, my friends, is a full odds, random, shiny Citadel in the middle of a bug encounter up Snom outbreak. Citadel is not a bug type. I have no clue what the chances are for this goofy thing to appear out of nowhere in this bug-infested world, but here he was. My 4th Gen 9 shiny Pokemon walked straight up to me, smiled, and joined my party. The easiest hunt I've done so far. You know how earlier I said you could get an amulet coin from that random guy by the Poke Center? Well, this is why you might want it. These sandwich ingredients get expensive. You know, I didn't realize I'd basically be working a part-time job as a Subway employee trying to hatch eggs in this game, but, here we are. Some more advice, don't catch or kill a wild Pokemon when you're hatching eggs, or else you'll have to sit through all the level ups and moves learned, and it never ends. Okay, so at this point, I've decided I am officially not progressing the game anymore from where I am right now, which is around a bit before the Elite Four. I want a full Gen 9 shiny team, EV trained, and fully prepared for my final battles in the endgame. And since I already have a shiny Dondozo, I figured my next target should be its partner in crime, Tatsugiri. Tatsugiri has 3 forms, each buffing Dondozo in a different way. And interestingly enough, each form has its own shiny. I think I like the red form the best with the pure white shiny, but I've heard that the strongest form is the orange one, with the shiny being orange, but drizzled with like soy sauce or something on top, I don't know. Anyway, I skipped around dates on my Switch looking for an outbreak of Tatsugiri on my map and eventually found one, and it just so happened to be the strong orange sushi. They were literally everywhere and I was lagging like crazy, but I started the hunt. What happened next was probably one of the most insane moments I've had shiny hunting. See, I was in a Discord call with some friends. Some of you might remember them from my shiny quizzes, and we were all playing Scarlet and Violet at the same time. Well, Mimic, who was desperately hunting for her favorite shiny Pokemon, Mimikyu, was not having any luck like all week. And, well, actually, just watch this.
Did Bombardier like all day yesterday. Wait, I'm pretty sure that's a shiny.
No way.
I'm not kidding.
There's no way you're gonna.
What?
Mine's a shiny.
What?
What?
We both found our shiny targets at the exact same time. I was so excited about the Tatsugiri and will definitely put this guy on a future doubles team with the big Bozo Dondozo. Gen 9, shiny number 5, done. Now, you might have noticed in that previous clip, I was hatching Tinkatinks. The Tinkatink line of Pokemon might be my absolute favorite in Gen 9. I love them, and I don't know if I can call my Gen 9 shiny team complete without a shiny Tinkaton. So basically, from this point on, I am non-stop breeding and hatching Tinkatinks. But do I actually end up getting one? Well, I'll show you what happens soon. But first, let me quickly explain how I ended up in this situation. I had a Glimmet outbreak, another Gen 9 Pokemon I really wanted to shiny hunt, except it was in this tight, narrow cave, and only a few spawned at a time, and it just didn't seem really reasonable to hunt. The outbreak just seemed kind of trash. The respawns were slow, it was hard to see sometimes. I was basically ready to pack it up and leave when I saw this start happening.
What the crap? Look how many Glimmets there are.
The Glimmets just kept coming. From one spawn point, the cave was just printing Glimmets. I was actually just sitting there in shock. There's probably like 20 Glimmets here, and if I went into my picnic and came back out, it just does it again. So, I mean, naturally, I just stayed here printing Glimmets for hours to see what would happen, and I got not one shiny, not two, but 3 shiny Glimmet. Wait, no, there's another one here. That's 4, and wait, 5? Oh, right, I remember. I got 6 shiny Glimmets in 3 hours, or less than 3 hours, in this cave. 6! I have no clue what kind of voodoo shiny magic was going on in this cave, and reminder, I don't have a shiny charm. This was my 6th shiny Gen 9 Pokemon, or I guess technically my 12th, and I literally caught a full shiny team of only Glimmets and just left, like it was another day in the office. I wonder if that luck would translate to my next outbreak. I will never get tired of looking at this goofy penguin. I've also never had a shiny ice cube before, and I mean, might as well test my luck at this point, right? Oh, hey there, buddy. Nice big pink head you've got there. Would sure be a shame if... So yeah, the luck continued. A random shiny ice cube on the entire other side of the map and a perfectly matching heal ball. And a nice bonus Scarlet and Violet visual glitch to end it off. Couldn't have asked for anything better. Except there was one thing that was better. On day 7, the moment finally came. The final slot on my shiny Gen 9 team, the one I was hunting for days, showed up. Shiny Tinkatink, the bronze-hammered little gremlin was here, and the evolutions speak for themselves. Tinkatink, Tinkatuff, and Tinkaton, a Pokemon ready to bash anyone's head in that gets in the way, and also falls asleep on her hammer. My shiny Gen 9 team was complete, and I'd amassed 100 hours of playtime since release, and honestly, I somehow enjoyed nearly every second of it. The optimization is terrible, I'm lagging half the time, angry, and the game just kinda looks like crap. But dude, it is so fun. With my full shiny team, I set my sights on becoming the champion to raise each and every one of my Pokemon to their fullest potential and battle my way to the end game. And then I'm probably just gonna shiny hunt a lot more.